Now, if you desperately need a shiny new smartphone but you're stony skinty broke because you spent the last of your savings on a couple of crates of booze for your big birthday blowout, and then none of your so-called mates actually turned up, so you just ended up drinking the whole lot yourself and then vomited all over the cat, well, no worries. You can spend surprisingly little on a fresh new blower in 2025 and still get yourself something that isn't a total piece of cack. I'm talking gorgeous AMOLED displays, decent gaming performance, ridiculously good battery life, the works. Now, I've reviewed dozens of budget smartphones these past few months, and here's my pick of the absolute best right now in 2025. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, one of my absolute favourite budget blowers right now is the Nothing Phone 3A, which boasts some surprising specs and features for just over 300 quid. This slightly chunky smartphone sports that iconic disco arse, which flashes to notify you of messages, or just in time to whatever banging tunes you've thrown on. If you can tear your eyes from that arse for just a second and flip the Nothing Phone 3A over, that OLED screen is yet another delight. While the stereo speaker setup is decent enough for enjoying a spot of Netflix, or the satisfying sound of you beating Gribblies right in their chops with an inappropriately attired anime lass. Speaking of which, thanks to those Snapdragon smarts, the Nothing Phone 3A is nippy enough to basically play any game out there, even a bit of Wuthering Waves. Nothing's camera setup is impressively flexible, with a telephoto shooter slapped in for good measure, quite the rarity for a budget-friendly phone. And even in quite challenging conditions, you'll get decent looking pics. Nothing OS is as lovable as ever, now bolstered by the surprisingly effective Essentials space, which allows you to set reminders and build your to-do list with just a push of a button. In fact, there's little at all to grumble about here. Go check out my full review of this affordable wee delight, as well as the more expensive Pro model if you've got a bit more cash to spare. Now, if you're on a tighter budget, well, why not have a gander at Nothing's even cheaper offering, the CMF Phone 2 Pro. Aside from the annoying lack of a regular CMF Phone 2, there's little to dislike. That colourful design is again completely customizable with support for a small range of slap-on accessories, and this sequel is now more rugged as well with improved water resistance. The rest of the hardware is just as trouserially tantalising, from that poppy AMOLED panel to the respectable camera setup, complete with a basic telephoto shooter. The CMF Phone 2 Pro is powerful enough to cope with proper gaming on the likes of Wuthering Waves, just about, while that battery life is top notch. And Nothing OS is still one of my favourite launchers, offering a similarly smooth and stylish experience as those fully fledged Nothing phones. It may not be perfect, but the CMF Phone 2 Pro offers quite a lot for very little. And you can see my full review right now, as well as a side-by-side comparison with the iPhone 16e, which isn't as good despite costing almost 3 times as much. Now, also at the time I shot this video, Xiaomi was offering its Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G on a discount for just under £300 over on its website. And this sports a bright and palm-pleasing design with a textured back end plus full water resistance. Great news if you're having to enjoy a bit of doom scrolling while chilling in the jacuzzi. HyperOS can be a bit bulky at times, although Xiaomi is offering a good few years of updates with the Note 14 Pro 5G. And that near 6.7-inch AMOLED display is bright, punchy and supremely sharp, with Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus support. It's proper crack for the eyeballs, ideal for streaming movies or playing games in your downtime. Speaking of which, this Redmi can just about handle more intensive fare like Genshin and Wuthering Waves as long as you drop the detail levels. Although I gotta say, I did find the camera experience quite juddery here on the Redmi, even if I was just shooting simple snaps of the cats or the sprog or whatever. The 200 meg main camera does a decent enough job as long as you're not too demanding, although definitely stick to photos because videos can be rather choppy. And the battery life here on the Note 14 Pro 5G is solid, although charging speeds have rather annoyingly dropped since the previous generation. And from that Xiaomi website, you can also grab yourself a Poco F7 on the cheap. Now, this is an absolutely beastly 6.8-inch Android with that same HyperOS setup. The AMOLED display is yet another stunner, while the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 copes with even tougher titles like Wuthering Waves. Although the Poco F7 does heat up a wee bit under pressure, so I certainly wouldn't game on it for too long. Battery life is once again excellent thanks to the absolutely ruddy enormous 6500 mAh capacity cell. So even if you're a highly demanding user, a single charge should easily last you a full day, possibly even a full weekend if you don't go too nuts, while the fast charging support will power it all the way back up again in bugger all time. Plus, the Poco F7 is fully IP68 rated, so fully water and dust resistant, which is still reasonably rare for a budget-friendly blower. And the camera arrangement can happily handle some everyday family photography, only occasionally lapsing with a dodgy shot or two. So overall, HyperOS quirkiness aside, it's a proper good one. Otherwise, Xiaomi has also been offering a lot of discounts recently on the respectably good Poco X7 and Poco X7 Pro. I've personally only tested the Pro model in this strangely timed Iron Man limited edition flavour. Surely it should be a Doctor Doom version now, right? But it's yet another cracking IP68 water resistant handset, boasting generous specs including shagloads of storage, a trouser-rousing AMOLED screen, Dimensity 8400 Ultra Smarts, and yet another massive 6000 mAh fast charging battery. Fetch my spare pair of pants, Marjorie. I just filled these ones. Now, another one of my favourite budget phones for under 300 GBPs is the OnePlus Nord CE4 Lite 5G. Bit of a clunky name, sure, but the excellent specs and the user-friendly OxygenOS experience make it a really strong rival to those Poco and Redmi blowers. Now let's start with that bright and bold mega blue design, which is sure to attract a fair few glances as you strut down the street. And this thing's bluer than a Smurf's ball bag. But if you want something a bit more discreet, you can also grab the Nord CE4 Lite in silver. Now this generation upgrades the screen tech to OLED, so the Nord is a cracking choice if you like a bit of Netflix on the go. And no worries on the audio front either, you've got a beefy stereo speaker arrangement slapped on here, as well as an actual headphone jack. Sadly, however, the Nord CE4 Lite is powered by a creaky old Snapdragon 695, so gamers are best off looking elsewhere. But one of the best bits is the massive 5100 mAh battery, which effortlessly delivers a full day of play, and it's backed by 80 watt SuperVOOC charging support to juice it up again in just over half an hour. However, bear in mind that the fresh new OnePlus Nord CE5 is lingering just around the corner. That'll be launching at the start of July, so you might want to hang on a wee bit longer for that one. Alternatively, Motorola is also a proper purveyor of wallet-friendly smartphones, and one of its most impressive recent efforts is the Moto G56 5G. Despite its more budget-friendly price tag, the G56 is a bit of a stunner, serving up a choice of 4 Pantone-certified colours, as well as full IP68 water resistance. That 6.7-inch screen may just be LCD tech, not OLED, but it's still proper poppy. And you've got yourself stereo speakers as well as an actual headphone jack to get all wired up. That Dimensity 7060 may mean quite limited performance, but the battery life is superb as usual, complete with not exactly tediously slow 30 watt wired charging support. And the Moto G56's camera tech is fine as well, although as usual Motorola ain't too hot when it comes to timely software updates. Nor for a super budget price, there's also the Moto G35. The performance and the camera tech are certainly nothing special, but the battery life is excellent, and once again, you've got a lovely frills-free version of Android. Plus, Motorola has once again nailed that design with a strokeably soft fake leather arse. And if you've only got 100 quid to spunk on your new Pocket Pal, well, your options are kinda limited. But Moto once again has you covered with the super cheap and cheerful G05. This bargain blower is best used as a secondary handset, or it's one for the sprogs, as it is pretty basic stuff. And again, my full unboxing and tour is live right now. And last up, if you fancy yourself an affordable blower that's also impressively expandable and repairable, well, definitely have a squint at the batshit mental HMD Fusion. Like Motorola's blowers, the update side of things does let this phone down a bit, which is almost ironic given you can transform this blower on a whim by adding extra bits of hardware like this flash ring for your vlogging extravaganzas. where you can also extend its lifespan by ripping open the Fusion and replacing bits like the battery all on your lonesome, as long as you're up to dealing with all the teeny tiny wee screws. And also, like Motorola, you've got a sleek stock Android experience here, plus dependable battery life, although the low resolution screen and iffy performance may put you off. So that right there, my lovelies, is my pick of the best budget-friendly phones that you can get yourself right now. Now, all of these smartphones, what I've mentioned, I have personally played with and reviewed right here on Techspert. You can go check out my full dedicated review videos if you want to know more. But of course, bugger loads of budget phones out there launching every single friggin' week, and only one Uncle's Spurt. So I may have possibly missed off your own pick of the best budget phone right now. If so, well, definitely let me know what a festering slaphead I am down in the comments and clue us in as to your own personal choice. Or if you didn't think this video was total guff, well, please do poke subscribe and ding this notifications bell thingy for more stuff like this. Have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everyone. Love you all.